Hello everyone, welcome to another video. And this video is, I'm not even going to beat around the bush at the start of the video because I feel like people's attention span may not be quite high enough, some of you. So right at the start, I want to say this about all the people who have recently left on the JP side. It was not just about summon festivals. That was not even the main reason. The main reason was the Lunafreya banner. And now I am going to explain exactly why that is. The main reason that people quit on the JP side was, well, especially me, I should speak for more, was not because I pulled on the Noctis banner and got really bad results. That was something that increased my frustration level, but I was still playing after that happened. The main reason was because we had a live stream on the JP side where we were basically announced what was coming for our King Mog. Infographics were shown off of who would be the bonus units. Infographics were shown off that Noctis was going to be there, as well as, basically kind of the banner and all the game information. The Noctis banner came out and everything was basically ticking along as normal. We're kind of used to at this point to the idea that summon festivals are just going to be basically every banner from now on. That was not the thing. To quote King Kong, it was not beauty, it was not the helicopters that did it. It was beauty who killed the beast. Well, maybe that's a pretty loose quotation. It was not summon festivals that killed me, my interest in playing Brave Exvius. It was the Luna banner. Because 4 days after Noctis came out, we had gotten surprise maintenance, basically. We had known that there was going to be a 1-hour maintenance, but we had no idea what it was for. Heck, at that time, I had even assumed that it was going to be just the addition of a challenge or something, or maybe some special bundle in Golden Week. I never thought in my wildest dreams that it would be a Lunafreya banner. Because here's the thing. Noctis being on a split banner is lame, but Luna also being on a split banner is just scummy. And that was the moment where I just realized that A, I could not trust Alum anymore, and B, this was the business that they were kind of in now more than ever. The idea of splitting apart stuff, making it more difficult, and more importantly, hiding things. Say that I am crying all you want. I mean, there's no tears or anything. I don't really care. It's just a game. It sucks because the game is meant to be fun and enjoyable, and this was the moment when Brave Exvius stopped being fun to play because it wasn't even really that it was a split banner. That seems to be a thing now. What was really annoying was this idea that it was hidden, that it was kept secret, that this was something that was planned, that they knew about ahead of time, and they did not give it in the official information, something that has been basically trusted for a long time. When the official information given by the game's producers is underhanded or malicious, an idea of putting out the Noctis banner and already making it difficult to get Noctis, and then not telling anybody that Lunafreya, a character who was probably at one point meant to share the banner with Noctis, in theory and planning anyway, had now been basically thrown into her own banner. Split but hidden was the big thing that really was the killing blow for my interest in playing Brave Exvius. I love Final Fantasy. I will always love Final Fantasy. 7, 8, and 9 are going to be forever just some of my favorite video games. And yeah, probably one of those is even in my top 5 games of all time. But really, it's the idea of just being malicious. And for global players, let me put it in kind of an example that you could, in a recent example. And it's not a perfect example because obviously the most current banner coming to global are 2 DPS units, and Luna is a support unit and Noctis is not. But imagine Gummy came out with their little video and they said in their official video after, basically kind of being the official information thing that, well, we're having our Axstar banner, and here's the Axstar step up, and the Axstar step up, even if I don't hypothetically put Axstar on a split banner, they didn't even split Axstar with a new unit. Let's say they just had that Axstar banner out, and people came out and pulled Axstar when he came out. And then 3 days later, Gummy added the Xeno banner. How would you feel? Because a lot of the criticism that I've seen in some comments basically kind of comes around to, well, it's Lunafreya. I don't care about Lunafreya. This could have happened with any 2 characters. This could happen in the future with any 2 characters. Garnet and Zidane. How much would you like a Queen Garnet and potentially a Zidane? What if they're on split banners exactly like this? What about Squall? Cloud? Any of the characters this could happen to in the future. So maybe you don't care about the characters much, and maybe you're just not that into the game or even care that much about the game in the first place. But the idea is being lied to, misleaded, or giving false impressions. Always in the game, I've kind of felt that the information and the communication is pretty lackluster, but it's never been deceiving. It's never, at least not to the tune of a banner with characters and whatnot. So, yeah, it may not be important to you, but it is something important to me that, especially on a game where I can drop $200 to $500 to $1,000 on the Noctis banner, only to find out later that there was another banner hidden from me from another character that I probably actually would have really liked. I'm not even joking. I would really love to run a team with Noctis and Luna, given the story of Final Fantasy XV. But that was not to be. And that is the feeling of some other JP players that I have talked to. It is not a good feeling to just be deceived. And for other players, they will continue playing the game because it just may not be as important to them as it was to me. But there seems to be, but the confusion about summon festivals, yes, summon festivals have been building up a bit of frustration in me because I have been 5 months clean spending money on Brave Exvius. Literally since January 1st. I have not spent, well, I guess it's not 5 months, it's 4 months. Sorry. Anyway, I have been 4 months not spending any money on Brave Exvius. That was a personal goal to only spend money on specific banners. But I just don't feel like I can spend money on this game currently because the trust was broken of the communication of information. And yeah, if Y'shtola or FF9 had came out, it would have been, and I had spent money on it, that would have made this a little more difficult. But it isn't. I need to get away from Brave Exvius in terms of playing the game. In terms of the community, again, I've made quite a few friends in this community, both on Twitch and YouTube. There are it's helped me build my entire YouTube channel. And that is also why I am continuing doing these videos. I enjoy doing the analysis of a lot of characters and potentially helping out people. Or even those people who complain about my analysis, I very much enjoy making people think, potentially, about what they are doing in the game, or maybe disagreeing with me. Not everyone has to agree with me. I don't want that. I don't want this thing where it's a cult, where everybody just agrees with everything I say. That being said, some of the dumber comments out there I've definitely had to remove over time. Sorry, if your comment just doesn't really add anything to the conversation, there are times where and it's especially a negative themed one, yeah, I'll remove it. I'll remove it without even thinking about it. I don't care. I'm not silencing opinion. There was no opinion to be had in those comments. So yes, I need to make it perfectly clear. Summon festivals were something that were absolutely frustrating me from playing Brave Exvius, but they weren't the reason I quit. The reason I quit is because I just can't trust Alum anymore. And in a game where you can drop literally $1,000 on a banner, yeah, that kind of matters, that you can actually trust who you're buying your product from. Because, yeah, it hasn't happened on global yet, and it hopefully will never happen on global, because this is just an underhanded, malicious thing. But at the same time, yeah, I just can't do it. So, for the rest of this video, I am now going to do with this song. Because a lot of you have called me salty, and yeah, a little bit. It's really easy to be salty in a gacha game when you don't get what you want. And boy did I want Noctis, and boy did I not want Chair Rain. It was painful. But, with that being said, let's talk about something kind of just really, that maybe some people aren't expecting me. I'm going to talk good things about Summon Festivals. Because Summon Festivals are, you know, not the greatest thing for free-to-players, but they are for anybody who is spending money on the game. Because they essentially are rewarding people who were already spending and supporting the game. Games like this are not free to make. It's not like people make these games out of the goodwill of their heart. That is very clear. Brave Exvius is a game that needs money to survive, like any gacha game. I question probably the profit margins on it, but since I'll never get that data, I can't really say anything. But Summon Festivals are great for people who spend money on the game. They have a higher rate, they have better, more powerful characters, and they usually offer good rewards. Not so much the Luna banner, but that banner was pretty shitty. Even, I think most people would just say that the Luna banner was pretty shitty. But things like, for instance, the CG Onion Knight banner was great for people who wanted CG Onion Knight, and CG Onion Knight turned out to be just the best DPS currently on the JP side at the time of this recording. So yeah, Summon Festivals are actually a pretty darn good thing for anybody who's spending money on the game, and to a certain extent, that is good, because free-to-players, we do need people to spend money on Brave Exvius. If there aren't people like Dire on the global side spending money, there can't be free-to-players. Same thing with all the other gacha games and digital card games and all of that. Magic the Gathering, The Arena, Hearthstone, Epic 7. People who are spending money on the game are basically making it possible for the game to continue and continue to let free-to-players have some enjoyment. There was a time back in the old days where you'd rent or buy a game and that was it. Game sucked? Too bad. There wasn't the internet to get a ton of information. We now have communities here that can be built around a free-to-play game like Brave Exvius, where a ton of people can, you know, get their favorite characters and just play the game and have fun, or find some enjoyment in their way, however they do it. That's great. That is definitely the thing. And Brave Exvius does, like any gacha game, need to find ways to get people to spend money. Summon Festivals are working. Brave Exvius has seen on the JP side an increase because Summon Festivals are good. And Summon Festivals are getting this really bad name. And yeah, for free-to-players, it sucks, but you're also not spending money. So if you're not spending money, you're not overly supporting the game. You are in some aspects, because you might get someone to play the game who does spend money as opposed to you, and that is in turn valuable for the developers and everything like that. So there has to be some balance of doing the free-to-play and whatnot. But it has definitely hurt the idea, because we have connections to these characters. Characters like Cloud and Squall are not just some people's favorite Final Fantasy character, they're their favorite character, period. I probably could picked a better example than Squall. Probably Noctis would have been more relevant, but there are people out there whose favorite character is Yuffie in any media, and that makes it feel worse if you can't just get that character a little bit easier. I don't know if you heard that, but I heard that. Anyway. So yes, Summon Festivals have kind of earned a little bit of their bad name, because you know what? They do feel bad for the free-to-players, and there are a lot more free-to-players than there are people spending money. I would strongly guess and assume. I would make that assumption. But Brave Exvius is a game that does need money, and this is obviously working, and it seems to be that the whales, the people who are spending money and supporting the game, are happy. So for all my intention, for all my dislike towards summon festivals, and the fact that it's kind of annoying that Alum doesn't know how to balance it, honestly, in other games, summon festivals only appear every so often. Maybe every couple of months, maybe every 3 months, maybe every 4 months. And they have incredibly powerful characters on them, and they kind of force people into spending money, but they do it every so often. Alum doesn't really know how to balance this shit. Alum just says, hey, we're putting a summon festival out every week, kind of thing. Which is kind of what's happening with Noctis and then Luna and now Madame. There is a series of summon festivals all in a row, and boy, if we get a raid one at the end of the month, I guess that's it's not even a trifecta. Well, it's a King Mog, it's a story event, and it's a raid event. Alum just doesn't know. My probably biggest thing upon reflection about my feelings on summon festivals is it's more just the overkill of them. Same with the step-up banner. This idea of something that could be special but is really now just done all the time because that's how they're marketing. That's just the idea, and it's working temporarily until they have to come up with another new idea. But summon festivals are good for the game, even if they aren't necessarily good for the free-to-player either. The summon rates up 5% to me is just not really good enough for the free-to-play aspect, but is really good for the people who are spending money, because you spend enough money, you're basically going to get some rainbows off of it, and a smaller summon pool increases the idea of more relevant rainbows. So yes, for all my salt about pulling 5 chair reigns in a row, which is amazing luck in the opposite direction. All that salt that I do have, I will fully admit that there are some good things about summon festivals for a lot of different people out there. And global players, don't be too negative on the idea of summon festivals. If they could be tweaked a little bit, if there would be a little more love for the free-to-players, then I think that they would be overall easy to enjoy a lot more. But the last thing, again, is the way I started this video. It's not the reason I quit. The reason I quit is just because I can't trust Alum. And once you break that trust, it's really, really, really nearly impossible to get back. So that's all for this video. I'll see you next time, when maybe we gotta talk about some global stuff. Hypothetical global stuff. See ya.